your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. We're live at SABC3, and this morning we are focusing on all things tech and creation. And take a listen to this story. There's an inevitable move towards biodegradable products and advanced waste management solutions, says entrepreneur Luvuyo Ndiki.
Yeah, he does indeed. Now, he is the founder of Red Cup Village, which is a company that 3D prints and sells biodegradable cups to help combat our world's plastic pollution crisis. So let's take a look at this story.
The repercussions of not looking after our environment is that we have an ocean filled with plastic, an ocean that is not longer a place for us to relax and have fun. And also we have landfills that are filled up, which take up a lot of space of land, which land we require so much in our country. My name is Luvuyo Ndiki, and I'm the founder of Red Cup Village, and started the business in 2014. My passion comes from back in high school when I was basically a litter bug where I used to clean after at break. It started off as detention, but everything after that came as a passion, just to clean after the environment and taking care of what I lived back on the ground. The reason why I started off moving into biodegradable cups was seeing a lot of people, and after having events, they would always throw away their cups on the ground and no one taking care of that. And I think for me, it was a matter of like taking the initiative to design something. Let's say, for example, if someone would throw it, it'll grow into a plant one day, you know, and that has led me into researching towards PLA cornstarch, basically cups, which are basically biodegradable. 3D printing is the choice because I studied in industrial design, and from there I was exposed to so much about this future technology back then that could change the way things are done in the world. And from there I started researching it on my own and basically getting technical advice online and also consulting people to make sure that I can design things out of using 3D printing.
So guys, this is basically our final project. And this is after the designers got into it and we basically printed it. As you can see, it comes from filament, is basically the corn itself, and then extruded in a very nice line. And then from there, it goes into details around there, and then it's extruded out here. So basically, this can go about 200 degrees hot just to melt it so that you can get the shape that you want. So this took us about 15 to like 10, 20 minutes just to get this out, you know what I mean? And basically this is the future of how products are gonna be made, but this is like a durable product that you could actually drink out of, you know, in the near future, and basically dispose it into the ground in a certain amount of compost, which can make it biodegrade.
I've made so many mistakes in the venture when I started off. I think even on the 3D printing side, I failed more than 50 times where I wanted to give up, but I had hoped that this is possible to get products that are made out of PLA, which is basically cornstarch or sugarcane, to be produced for mainstream. So the one thing that I've learned from my mistakes is planning ahead, and also being open-minded and be willing to fail, you know what I mean? And not being scared to fail, because throughout a failure, that's when you learn the most, and that's where you're able to develop new things. A lot of people are very afraid of failing, but once you fail 500 times, that 501 time might be the time that you get it right. So I understand the process of failure, it's important and it's required for success. I think the best way to motivate people to be much more environmental conscious is for them to be aware of where the waste is going. When you put something into the rubbish bin, does not mean that it's just gonna go into a nice place and it disappears. It stays for almost 500 years, specifically plastic. And I wanna motivate people to say, look, take care of what you're doing, try to find more ways to recycle, which is a very important thing, and avoid single-use plastic.
Wow.
Wow.
I want a 3D printer.
And my heart is so happy, man.
Yes.
How cool is that?
It's the best thing, and I think what I like about it, it's not just a gimmick, there's a cause behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is biodegradable cups, and the thing is, we are joined by the man himself. You saw him in that video, but he looks even better in person. This is Luvuyo Ndiki. Welcome to Expresso, my friend.
Thank you guys for having me here.
I'm smiling at you because I'm like, yes, thank you, man. I'm loving what you're doing, brother. Oh, it's so good to have you.
So, I mean, you know, when I look at that video and I'm thinking about you getting started, you grow up in the township and you go to other towns and you see there's a difference here with regard to waste and litter. Was that the turning point for you to say you need to make a difference?
Yeah, but I think it's also been like a journey throughout, you know, where at first I was not really used to the whole impacts of plastic. I was just like any other consumer, just throwing everything on the floor. But I think as time went by, I realized that, look, man, the amount of plastic that I'm putting out there, where is it going?
Yeah.
You know, so when I started finding that source, that's when everything started to change, you know?
Oh, man, that's so cool. And now, listen, I'm also understanding that not only you're just making cups, right, but you've also got a big involvement in that creative marketing space, so to speak. So, I mean, it's, you're working events, you're providing this beautiful product. How is that impacting that entire market, especially with the youngsters coming through? I mean, normally you just have a drink and then you're done with it. So, I mean, how is that impacting things at the moment?
I think it also comes with, like, the responsibility, you know, and I think from my side, through the whole journey that I traveled, I realized, like, look, a lot of people come for custom-made stuff. And South Africans, we like things that are made for me.
Yeah.
And you don't get that out there. So when people came to me, be like, I want a cup that's made for me, at the same time, I was like, okay, cool, I can custom make it. At the same time, what if it was something, if you threw it, it'll just dissolve, you know? And that's how the whole thinking came about. What if you threw it, it became a plant, you know? Just so you play around with your mind, and that's the whole concept of the biodegradable products, you know? And the nice thing with 3D printing, you can custom make anything. Same thing as like how NASA would go out of space. The only machine that would take most of the time is a 3D printer. Because it lowers the cost. You don't have to travel everything. You can just make it out of space. You know, that's the kind of same concept where you can make everything on demand, you know? But at the same time, being conscious of what you're leaving behind.
So it's like the world is, your creativity is your limitation when it comes to this game, right?
Definitely.
Oh man, it's wild. Can you think, when your mind is just like, what can I make?
Yeah, I'm realizing that I shouldn't have a 3D. I print everything. I shouldn't have a 3D
I can
printer.
picture Carl in his office 3D printing away.
What shall I make today? No, but you know, when it comes to what you mentioned is that the young people and acknowledging plastic as something that is, it is a problem on a global scale. You decided to do a biodegradable festival last year. And especially on a year like last year, that was a bold move, but you did it, and I'm proud of you because awareness is so important. How did the festival go?
Look, the festival, for starters, it went well, but I think we could have done much better. But I think for the first one, it was much of a challenge, and I think I was very stubborn to say, whoever wanted to come on board will come on board, but if you don't want to be part of this, I'm going ahead with it, you know? That's the kind of mentality that I have, and that's the kind of push that I have. And a lot of people were like, no, let's do it next year, let's push it later on. And yet COVID hit, and it's like I knew, but at the same time, it happened. And one thing that I could say I saw from out of it, there's a lot of different products that are not there, that are not biodegradable. And I feel like that's why now we are moving into mass customization. I can actually provide those different biodegradable products and on demand, you know what I mean? So the Biodegradable Festival, it's still going to be there. You know, let's wait how things cool down a bit. You know, I think it's a baby that I also want to nurture in the future.
Yeah.
Luvu, I'm thinking about this while you're speaking and telling me all this, and I almost feel like you are a modern-day superhero. Let me tell you why, man. You're literally going around looking at all the problems in the world. Problem, plastic, there's a problem. Let me switch that up, make it biodegradable. Some plastic there, let me switch that out. Bam, 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 bam. But you could literally change the world, and there's so much impact that you can do. So, I mean, you started off with these cups, but where to next? What's the next step? Is it going to get bigger? I mean, what's the plans for you?
Man, there's no limit, you know. For me, I think since I was born, I always had this bigger feeling that I had to do more, you know. And also, like, my upbringing was very special. I grew up in an 1820 settlers village, you know, where it was just extraordinary school, you know. But all that knowledge and all of that has brought me to understand that, like, what I'm doing now is just the beginning, you know, because what's happening next, I'll be 3D printing houses in the next future, you know. Just imagine that being done in 24 hours, you know. Just, you look at the problem, you don't have to point fingers. See what you can do, and the next person can learn from you. They will be inspired from you. So that's what I'm doing from my side.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah, no, you, my friend, there's something here, and I'm glad we were here Do you feel that?
Yeah, we were here
with
for
the
the
3D
start,
printer man.
the
The superhero you're talking about. This is Luvuyo Ndiki. He's the founder of Red Cup Village. Please go check it out. If you've got Google, you can go over and just find out all the details that he aims to be part of the growing movement toward ethical environmentalism. Big words, but important words in our country that includes the moving away from wasteful living to a more sustainable way of living through his 3D printed biodegradable cups. It's incredible. Remember the name Luvuyo Ndiki. You heard him here and saw him here first on Expresso.